Good afternoon everyone, and welcome to another video. Today is the 16th day of me owning this, the 987 Gen 1 base Cayman. So what led to me being in a Cayman? Why not a Yaris GR? Why not an M2, as a few people have suggested? Well, the short answer to that is it's all Lewis's fault. You see, I wasn't looking to change my car. I was more than happy in the BMW. I'd had it for 2 years, done 25,000 miles in it. It was on 35k. We had a long future together. I had no reason to change whatsoever. It wasn't perfect, but it was a superb daily with the LSD I had fitted. It was a hooligan when I wanted some entertainment, and it was an absolute riot on track. Then one evening a few weeks back, I was having a chat with my M140i owning friend, Lewis. We were discussing the M140i's incredible lack of feel, and he asked me, "Mark, why don't you change it for something else? Do you even need 5 seats?" "Of course I do, Lewis. I've got a family. You've got a C-Max for your wife, a 107 for your daughter. You've got 2 other 4-seaters in the family. I need the practicality of it, Lewis. It's regularly loaded up for the tip. Why not use the C-Max for that? When was the last time you had anyone in the back of your 140? And that was it. That was when the penny dropped, right there. 2 seats was enough. I didn't need the practicality. So I looked at what was out there for me with just 2 seats to see what I could get. My budget was nil. I had the proceeds from the sale of the M140i for it. Didn't want to put anything else into it. So just looking for a straight swap. And working from home means far less commute now, so I could consider cars with a higher mileage. And having had a couple of years in something German, I'd come to appreciate how well they put their cars together. So that's what brought me to the Cayman. That I sold my M140i, got this, and ended up with 1k in the bank was a bonus I wasn't expecting. Why not get the Cayman S then? Why not get the extra 50 horsepower? Well, in my BMW, 4 out of my top 5 dislikes are fixed by the Cayman, regardless of power level. I wasn't looking for power, far from it. In fact, all the effortless torque of the M140i had made me lazy. And being totally honest, I just found the M140i too fast. I could never really drive it hard, be properly on it for more than a few seconds at a time. And if I did, I was well into dangerous or jail time speeds. I got bored of that. I'm bored of forever having to back off. When I drive hard, I really want to drive hard. So the lesser powered Cayman appealed. Research showed the 2.7 seems to be the least affected by the IMS bearing failure, and bore scoring appears to be a rarity as well. Throw in the base Cayman at £330 a year is £235 a year less to tax than the Cayman S, and also that I can insure the base Cayman for £141 a year, and I was sold. The 2.7 base it is. So a quick search followed, and I ended up finding this beauty locally. So here's the spec. It's got cobalt blue metallic paint, 18-inch Cayman S wheels with monochrome centre caps, deletion of model designation. It's also got a rear wiper. It's got sound package plus, so in the front trunk there's an amplifier, and you also get 9 speakers instead of the usual 4. Also in the front trunk is a 6-disc CD auto changer. Inside is a nice light stone grey. I don't like black interiors, so I was delighted that this had the lighter one. But in here there's not too many options. There's no sat-nav or PCM, you just get a basic CD with an FM radio. It has cruise control, not something I'd choose. It's got the Sport Chrono pack. Now the timing clock, the stopwatch, is a bit of a gimmick, but it comes with a sport button which does 2 things. The first relaxes the driver aids. It gives you some leeway. Normally they're just on or off. Second, you get a sharper throttle. Now, I'm not usually a fan, but this feels good. It's sharp, but it's not short. It's not over by like 50%. It's also got sports seats. These ones you get shoulder support in. The standard ones are really narrow at the top, but these are a good fit for me. And lastly, it has the sports package, which is a very rare thing. So rare that this is the only Cayman I've ever seen with it fitted to it, which comprises two things. One is PASM, Porsche Active Suspension Management, which gives you 2 damper settings. And the other thing is this. This one's got a 6-speed manual transmission. As standard, the Cayman 2.7 came with a 5-speed. The gearing's long on these things. The extra ratio really helps. Overall stats are 245 horsepower, 201 pounds-foot of torque, 1300 kilo curb weight. Fun fact 1, the engine's in the same state of tune as a Clio 182. It makes 91 brake horsepower per litre. And fun fact 2 is that makes the engine in the 2.7 more highly tuned than the one in the Cayman S, the 3.4. That only makes 87 brake horsepower per litre. It's really revvy, and taken to the limiter, it sounds glorious. I mentioned this car was rare. Why is that? What makes this car rare? Well, unfortunately for me, I didn't find that out until I collected the car. There's a reason no one bought them in this spec. So we've done all the paperwork, I'm paying for the road tax, he hands me the card machine, I'm expecting £330 and it says 565. Should be 330, I said. That's the tax for the Cayman S. No, he says, the 6-speed manual on the 2.7 puts it 1 gram into the next VED tax band. I've got to admit, I didn't see that coming. It is worth it though, I think. It's a really, really nice box to use. After the 140, clearly this will feel slow, but this is not a slow car. Far from it. It just takes some work with this to stay in the sweet spot between 5 and 7k. Doing that, I get along just fine. So as a driver training tool, I think this is going to be a very, very good thing. My driving life so far in performance cars has been 241,000 miles in various front-engine front-wheel drive cars, followed by 19,000 miles in front-engine four-wheel drive, and I've recently finished 26,000 miles with front-engine rear-wheel drive. I wonder how I'm going to get along with mid-engine rear-wheel drive. Will the balance and attitude of this car win me over, or will I miss all that torque and power? While I find that out, I will of course be tracking costs as I have done in the past. This has only got 20k more miles than the BMW, but it is 10 years older. All Porsche stamps in the book, matching M-rated tyres. It's a very well cared for car. So I'm expecting more repair and maintenance costs, but will that be offset by lower depreciation? Regardless, I'm looking forward to discovering more about this thing, especially on track. This is in with a solid shout of being faster than the M140i around Goodwood, I think, even with 120 horsepower less. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this one a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see my journey with this Cayman, see how I get on, and I'll see you all in my next video.